Hi there. I haven't done a garden tour this year, and I'm actually pretty excited about this year's garden. So here you go. This is the hoop house, and it is this bed is 24 feet long. I typically use this side for climbing and vining cucurbits like watermelon, squashes, cucumbers, stuff like that. And also beans. So pole beans specifically. For example, this pole bean right here is climbing, which is good because a lot of my beans didn't make it even though I pre-soaked it. I don't know what's going on with them. But you can see some spaghetti squash there. I have pickling cucumbers here. I've actually never really had success with pickling cucumbers, and this year's been quite lovely. I am doing a lot of French marigolds this year, mainly because I found squash bugs underneath this plant already, but it seems like I killed most of them, or I maybe was actually successful with my marigolds. So here's the right side. I told Google to set a timer for an hour so I could shut off my irrigation, and it did not go off. So I flooded my yard. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that is a Hubbard squash. I had a plant there that I accidentally ripped out. Oh, I also have a vining zucchini. I got that, I think, at Big R or Cal Ranch. Like Renee's garden, I think those are the seeds that I got it from. These I think are golden Hubbards, which I'm very excited about. I've never grown those before. I grew regular green Hubbards once, and didn't cook it in time. So it went before I figured out a recipe for it. But basically most of these are just vining, and this edge here where that hog ring is about 6 feet tall. So you can see that these vines, instead of being all over the ground, are going to there. So there's probably about 8 foot of vine there, and that's the spaghetti squash. The same thing's happening here. This is I believe the golden Hubbard, so it's a first year for me for golden Hubbard. Here's some more pole beans. Earlier today I noticed that this tip was pretty dry on this one, and then I also noticed that everything here was wilty. So that's why I kind of got a little excited about watering, but hey, it is what it is. These are my lemon cukes. I finally found 2 today. I was very excited. Lemon cucumbers, you can eat them like an apple. They're so good. I'm excited to eat them this year. Those weren't that happy earlier. Look how pretty they are. So these are peas. Those are gorgeous. Usually I put snap peas. I think these are actually shelling peas. I'm not sure, but I think I based it on the flower color because, I mean, look how pretty these flowers are. So this one's over 6 feet tall, right? Let's see if it'll zoom in for you. Because this is usually my tomato side, I usually do tomatoes along this grid here. I didn't do enough tomatoes. I just didn't get too excited about tomatoes this year because I'm the only one that seems to eat them, and I'm not big on tomatoes. I like making sauces. I love making salsa, especially cherry tomato salsa, but it hasn't been, nobody else really eats the tomatoes. So there's another marigold. These are bush beans down here. Beans and peas are nitrogen fixers, so that's why they're next to the tomatoes, because tomatoes are heavy nitrogen eaters. And then because I had extra space here, I had some extra climbing or vining cucurbits, so I went ahead and put them here. Like that's a loofah. These ones, they're just stagnant. I don't know what's going on. Oh, my son left his gloves out here. So anyways, different things. Extra plants, more marigolds. I think I had a marigold here before and it dropped some seeds, and I stole the seeds and I transplanted them in other places, and I found, I guess, a few more decided to sprout, which is good. I have been collecting the seeds from these things like crazy, and I'll do a separate small short video on that, on how you collect those seeds. But look how pretty these are. It's a bush bean. There you go. And then I do have a couple tomatoes about to ripen right down there. Those are, I think, sweet 100s. I did go a little heavier on the cherry tomatoes this year just because I know that I'm gonna get a yield. I do want some bigger tomatoes, but for, you know, sauces or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is. So to give you a height reference, that one's over 6 feet tall right there. Yeah. And this remesh goes up and over. So the extra curcubits that I put down there will come back and go this way while all of these are going up and over that way. There you go. I originally did square foot gardening in here, so these nails down here are 12-inch increments for me, so I kind of eyeball it because the square foot grid is a pain to get a rototiller in here with. So that's why I got rid of the grid and I just use the nails to kind of eyeball it. So every other square, like that's a marigold, that square should be beans, but the beans didn't make it. That square I think is empty. That square has more bush beans, and I alternated bush beans every other square. And I did the same thing over here. Ooh, I'm gonna get my feet wet. Okay, so the bush beans on this side, which gets more sun, our sun tracks over this way over the summer. This is a 40% shade cloth. I get one every year because tomatoes will not fruit if they get too hot. They will not, the flowers won't set over, I want to say 86 degrees, 85 degrees. I haven't looked that number up in a while, so it's a little rusty. And so if you want your tomatoes to grow, they get full afternoon sun over there, and they get full morning sun from behind me. So they still get their full sun in the morning and the evening, just not that hot late morning, early afternoon time. But you got more tomatoes. I do see that I have some, oh, those are little pear tomatoes. They're either chocolate or yellow pear. You can see those right there. And you can see those ones. I've got some big ones here. I have a picture with all the cups underneath where I planted everything so I could remember everything. Oh, look. Right there. Look, more pea flowers. Aren't they adorable? Oh, they're so pretty. All right, back to here. Okay, over here is eggplant. I typically grow eggplant over here. I did put marigolds and the seedlings that I had stolen from the other side. I went ahead and planted it over here. A lot of my seeds are getting beat up, and my leaves are getting beat up, and I don't know if that's because of because of the hailstorm we had last week, or what it's from. But some of these leaves have really just been. I don't know if I have a pest. But you can see, look at that little guy right there. There's one on the far end too. So I have different types of eggplant growing in here. Usually this whole row is done with eggplant, and I had a couple disappear. My pest problem, if you saw my garden last year, I was just absolutely heartbroken. This year the pests I have kept under control with traps. So far it's been pretty daunting. I got a couple days off, but it looks like those are aromas, by the way. But yeah, so then if you saw my not all weeds are bad video, I did not plant that sunflower. But the birds seem to be going after it instead of my crops, instead of what I'm growing, which is lovely. I do think I'm going to take the heads off of some of these and then plant them around the border of my fence around the yard. I'm pretty sure those came from a either chicken food or somebody's bird seed or whatever, and it just, there they went. But I have this beautiful thing of sunflowers, and I cannot get down this row, but at least the birds are eating something, and the bees are here and they're happy. I have this giant one. I'm probably going to cut that head off. I heard you're not supposed to cut the head until the top of the stem turns yellow, and the birds are eating all of that, so maybe I'll just cover it so I can have those seeds, because this is clearly a nice big, it looks like one of the mammoth ones that I tried to plant last year, and that, because I had planted like 60 sunflowers in this bed right here, and I didn't get a single sunflower last year. So for all I know, something grabbed it and took off with it. Under here I have tomatillos. I only did like 4 plants this year. Usually this whole bed's tomatillos, but I also did 3 plants of ground cherries, and I'm actually finally getting some. Oh, what is that white stuff? So I'm excited to finally get some ground cherries. I should really plant more of these because I really do enjoy them. Ground cherries are super sweet. So here's the chaos that is the sunflowers. This bed is typically asparagus. It did try to make a comeback. It was so neglected it finally gave up and said that it wasn't going to do anything. This is a lavender. I'm hoping this lavender completely takes over this entire pot for pollinators. I have some gherkins hiding under here. I was just trying to get them to go onto this grid, and I don't know if they're going to make it with this sunflower because you can see the stalk of that sunflower. It's probably 2 inches across. I have some nasturtium. Nasturtium is an edible pollinating plant. That's what they look like when they get bigger. These should be sweet peppers. Usually I put sweet peppers on the shady side. This looks like a sunflower as well, and I've been meant to pull that up and put it somewhere else so it doesn't take over this bed. So I might have to do that before tonight. That's going to be a zinnia. I transplanted it the other day. I don't know if it got enough water, so we'll see. You would think with as much as I flooded today, I think my sprinkler was going for a couple hours. These are determinate tomatoes. Determinate tomatoes are bushy. It means they do not climb. So what you get is what you get. They don't just continue to keep growing all the bushiness like those ones that are, 6 feet tall. It will not go vertical. It's going wide. And I accidentally planted them too close together. But there you have it. There's my determinants. And it looks like you can tell they're in the sun. Look at these poor flowers. Like very few have set because of the heat. So I don't have a lot of determinate tomatoes. And then that could be a hot pepper. I'd have to see what it is when it comes out because I think I had some mysteries. Corn. There were no rabbits in my garden this year. There was one, and I figured out where it was coming in and I blocked it, and I haven't had another one since. Last year, my corn was completely decimated, as was all of my squash plants. So I had put 1/4-inch mesh around the whole base of my garden fence, which goes this way. I think the black stuff is 1/2 inch, but it goes literally around the entire garden. So the only pest I've really had in the garden is birds, which fly over, and squirrels, which climb. So that's why I've still had a problem. But as you can see, we're having much better success this year than last year. So there's lots of different varieties of corn in here. Some of it's popcorn, some of it's regular. If you don't know how corn is pollinated, this shimmy shakes in the wind and lands on the little fibers down here. And that's how corn is pollinated. So make sure you plant your corn in the wind. Here is more of... Okay, so I had told you I had extra cucurbits, like pumpkins and stuff. I was going to go vertical with this. I think it's too late now. So I am losing my walkway. Like there's the wood. It's coming out, 18 inches right here. So I'm losing my walkway. There's a giant pumpkin on the other side. I'll show you in a minute. I think that's a little Jacky Little pumpkin. So there's watermelon here that I bought at Lowe's. It was like 12 plants in one. I didn't want to put it in my trellising thing because I knew it was just going to take over, or I was hoping it was going to take over. Plus, I've never had success with watermelon in Reno. So we're doing an experiment. There's some underneath in the shade tent, or a shade cloth in the shade, and it's not nearly as happy as this. So maybe it needs full sun here in Nevada. I don't know. These are lemon cukes again. Also another one I got at Lowe's that had like 12 plants in it. I have not seen a single lemon cucumber hanging off this plant or any of the 12 that are in there. That is Ronde, R-O-N-D-E, Day, N-I-C-E, which I think is Rondinice. That one is Zapolito, something like that. Different types of squash. I've got some pumpkins under here. Another vining one that I didn't go vertical with, which I'm regretting. I'm not sure what those are. guess maybe those are my lemon. Last year I couldn't get lemon to grow to save my life. More French marigolds to keep the squash bugs out. This is like a Gelberhauser, something like that. It looks like a big old buttercup, kind of like a bell. Oh, I love patty pans. So there's 2 different patty pan plants here. You can see. I love these little scallop patty pans. This year I also actually covered. So that thing back there, I tried to turn it into a toy zoo. It came out crooked. I got upset. It's been sitting in the weather. I covered it up. It became a chicken brooder in the chicken yard, and now it became a sunflower protector. So I actually got some sunflowers this year. So I'm super excited. Nothing blooming yet, but I started these from seed. This is a weed, but it's an amaranth. It's like a wild amaranth. So I was like, well, let's invite more pollinators. There's more sunflowers here. I don't know. I'm thinking my Baker Creek seeds didn't make it. I'm kind of disappointed with my Baker Creek seeds. I feel like I know how to store seeds, but, you know, apparently not. I don't know. But jalapenos, I just harvested those today, and a couple rogue ones off of there. There's some shishitos up front. I love shishitos. They're great for baking. They're sweet. They're not spicy. These are weeds. I need to cut the tops off and save the seeds because they clearly want to survive in our climate. Yeah, that's what those are. Onions. Here's the, oh, I need to, ooh, that's a little big. Whoopsie. Oh, can you see that one in there too? Right there. All right, try not to make you dizzy. Looks like I have possibly another one of those pumpkins. Little yellow pumpkins, I think. I also did okra. If you have okra tips, can you put them in the comments, please? Because I don't understand why mine are so short. Was I supposed to cut the flowers off and like let them focus on height before they went to fruit? I need your okra tips, so please comment below. Oh, see? I'm pretty sure that's a jalapeno. I was trying to harvest it, but I was trying to figure out why the tip was so pointy. There's a zinnia there that I transplanted a few days ago. I Googled this with Google Lens. It's a weed, but I think it's like a type of spinach. But you can see I have more okra, and I really think that this okra is beautiful. Like, look at the color on that. So, okra, and peppers. Peppers on the edge because the sun typically tracks this way. So it's tracking with the sun. Like I put this garden in with the sun. And here's my big tomato, or not my tomato, pumpkin. And you can see it's pretty big. Oh, and it's covered in squash bugs. Oh no. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it go vertical, because that's how we fight squash bugs, is going vertical. They don't climb very high. They like to be in the dirt. So I guess I need to deal with that. So yeah, there's the garden. Here it is from further back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beds, eventually 7. Hopefully this spine procedure I'm supposed to have soon works. Or at least take some of the pressure off, because me and bending aren't friends these days. So anyways, there you have it. That's our apple tree. It's completely loaded down. Right there, look at our apple tree. Woohoo! Going nuts. This is the best year we've ever seen for our pear tree. That's the most fruit I've ever seen on it ever. It's a little wonky. I might trim those 2 super high ones right there and kind of make it a little bushier. But we're gonna get some pears this year. Should be a good year for all of our fruit. Hopefully I have the procedure before the first freeze so that I can actually process all this stuff. Because yeah, the last couple gardens I've had, I have not been able to process everything. And last year I put it all in the greenhouse, and then I fed all of the rats in the neighborhood, and we just dealt with that infestation. So there you have it. That's what's going on. Here's our first garden tour. Today is August 8th. So everything's been in the ground about 2 months. So we're about 2 months into this. I should get, hopefully, until October. There's usually a freeze in September. I'm hoping we skip it this year, but hopefully I'm good till October. So there you have it. That's what's going on. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe.